So today we are giving you guys an inside look, an extended test drive, and up and close with a true unicorn. One of two for the world, maybe three cars for the world, the Gemballa Extremo. And listen, I can't begin to tell you guys just how extreme this car is. There is nothing about this car that is Porsche derived anymore. Maybe the wiper blades, maybe these AC vents, but this is a complete animal of a car, and this was never actually supposed to go into production. The original Gemballa Extremo was built in partnership with Fulda Tires as part of a very, very special marketing campaign. And at the time, Porsche had only developed the Porsche 993 and into the 993 Turbo, but officially there was never a 993 Turbo Cabriolet. Now we know, I think it was the exclusive program built about 10 or 11 for the world, different variants of a 993 Turbo, but this essentially is a 993 base Porsche that has been completely modified. A speedster now with a unique hardtop, carbon hardtop, I should say, twin turbo, and this might be one of the wildest cars that I've driven just because it's so light, it's so radical. This is not something that you're going to get coffee with. This is a purpose-built car to go fast. I love Gemballa since the 1980s when Uwe Gemballa first started the company. He originally worked with all of the important tuning companies in Germany. As we know, he did interior work for AMG. And as we spoke to his son, he really did some incredible design work. And really, I was always inspired by the early Gemballa Avalanche cars. And once you're up and close with these early Gemballa cars, you really understand that they are truly coach-built cars. The bodies are all unique. The interiors are all unique. And then I think what I love so much about Gemballa is when it came to engineering and the technical aspects, he was always so far advanced, and not just in things like TVs and screens like that, but most of his cars, if you did the full stage of the Gemballa Avalanche, it had a roof power plant, roof gearbox, and that is what we learned when we first sold this car. I think it was 2 years ago now. This is a roof drivetrain in this car. It is a twin turbo, insanely radical power plant, roof brakes, roof suspension, roof gearbox, roof engine management system, completely modified suspension, completely modified brakes. And this car, everything has been touched. When you walk around this car, your immediate reaction is it's a Porsche. But when you truly look at the car, you see the entire car is carbon fiber. The entire front bonnet is completely different. It opens as a clamshell. The front bumper, the headlights have been modified. Even the doors are carbon fiber. The rear, whole valance, the rear quarters, and the rockers. So a full carbon body supercar from the 1990s. I can't even imagine the real cost of producing this then. And then everything in the interior has been changed from the door panels. This is probably the only thing that is still Porsche. You've got your boost gauge there, an oil pressure alert light there, an engine start button there, the iconic Gemballa wheel, yellow gauges, carbon fiber accents throughout, and yes, with this car, we've got these very serious harnesses and race bucket seats. Speedster windshield, the roll bar behind us, the speedster rear. And what's also very cool about this car is Gemballa designed a carbon fiber hardtop for this car that makes it look like a coupe. Obviously, it's beautiful weather today. We've got the top down, but the car with the raked carbon roof is just so cool. Now the brakes of this car are fantastic. The power, the handling, and that's not all Gemballa and roof. our good friend Jimmy Rapasi, a Porsche Carrera GT expert, has gone through this car for the current caretaker of it to make it a true weapon. I mean, just everything. And the sounds are fantastic and actually quite comfortable. A lot of power, great handling, you know, no cup holder here, no creature comforts. The AC is actually really great. But when you think about it, how surreal is it to be driving a show car like this, a one-off? So the original Fulda car, which I believe is still in their museum, was black. It was used for some high-speed testing and some really cool testing. There's some great footage that we found when discovering this car. And then this car was basically ordered by a Middle Eastern sheik, from our understanding. He had to have the same Fulda car, and then this car was used for a lot of great press and marketing. It was featured in many, many magazines, and you know, some great features on this car. I'm gonna put both hands on the wheel there, and I mean, what more could you want? A twin turbo, 911 based, carbon body, open top, 6-speed manual, and I'm gonna give Sergio a little ride of his life here once I get the wheel straight. No comment there. Wow. And that's what makes these tuning cars so incredible. I mean, when you think of the 1980s and 1990s, you know, these cars sort of had a bad reputation as being hokey or all these different things, but you know, they were really engineered incredibly well. You know, you fast forward and now we have companies like AMG and companies like Roof, full manufacturers that are, you know, AMG is producing thousands of cars a year. Roof produces, you know, many cars a year that are selling for these massive multiples over MSRP. And I think the world now takes these tuning companies very seriously. Obviously, they're manufacturers now. But I think this is a special period when, you know, people didn't want exactly what came from the manufacturer. People wanted to be different. People wanted to be wild. Today, you have every manufacturer basically producing a hypercar, a supercar. You have all these cars being produced in all of these options. Then you didn't really have, you had exactly what came from the manufacturer. And that's what's so cool about this generation of cars. Coach-built cars, some were built 1 of 10. This car, 1 of 2, maybe 3. We'll talk about that in a second. And when you look back, these cars are way ahead of their time. Manufacturers copied all of the tuning companies or bought the tuning companies because they saw just what the consumer wanted. And I think these pieces will forever go down as very important. And I think when looking back in the 1920s and 30s, you think of, you know, the coach-built cars that are featured at Pebble Beach. You think of these bodies, you know, the different bodies that came on Bugattis, Rolls Royces, and you think of their importance in the automotive world. I think many, many years from now, and maybe already started, we're going to look at this generation of tuning cars as the coach-built cars, as important cars, and I see it every day. Earlier this year, we had a Gemballa Testarossa. One was built. We had talked about that car. It was shown at the Geneva Auto Show. Completely different, again, like this car. That is what I completely love about Gemballa and what he did at that time. Everything was one-off. Everything was unique. The same with the Gemballa Testarossa. I couldn't find, besides the roof, a body panel that was original, and that's what we have here. Just really taking everything and looking at everything and virtually changing it, and you know, creativity and art and design and all of these things. So I think this generation of cars will go down as some of the most important cars of our time. They're usable, they're fast, they're so cool, and they're so different. And I think the other very interesting fact is a lot of these cars were featured in magazines. They were on cover of magazines, posters, different things like that. And this is just, you know, the top echelon of those cars. Now, I think what's so cool about this car and the Gemballa Avalanche of the period was this was in partnership with Roof. So now you've got this interesting combination of Gemballa and Roof to build this car, create this car. So it's almost like the best of all worlds when you're talking about tuning and design and collaboration, and this is just a blast. So about 6 months ago, there was a series of photos out of the Middle East of a yellow Gemballa Extremo, almost identical to this car, that was left abandoned in the Middle East, covered in dust. The poor car had seen better days, let's face it. Now, upon some investigation, I reached out to the owner. I've done some research. Now, this actual car has a Gemballa certificate that it was actually a one-off built. We don't know if that car was maybe not built in Germany. This was actually built in Germany at the Gemballa factory. The other car, the Middle Eastern car, could have been built at one of the Gemballa dealerships. It is definitely, it has all of the real components and real parts of an Extremo. It matches up with the original black car and this car. So I would consider it one of the Extremos, but it's not this actual car. So sort of interesting to dig into history. Sometimes you learn things looking back. You've got to correct your notes and reposition. Now, I've been trying to buy the car out of the Middle East or get these two cars together. I thought it'd be so cool to have a photo shoot of both together. Unfortunately, the owner won't sell that car, which I'm totally understandable. I would not want to sell this car if I owned it. So really, there could have been 3 of these cars built, but when you think of the amount of development, the construction, the work, the R&D to make all of this work and work so well, this does not feel like some aftermarket tuning car. It's light, it's fast, it handles well, and it just looks incredible. The fit and finish of this car, you know, and one of the things I love is when you look at this car, you can actually see all of the carbon components. You can see the weave throughout. So really, my hat's off to the original creators of this car. And this car was a 993 Targa that they converted, a C2 Targa that they converted to make this car. But yeah, I mean, there's really nothing left of any recognition of a Porsche 911. Yeah, honestly, I don't think there's anything else that's left of this car. This is a true Gemballa roof unicorn.